What's happening there is it's highlighting your own securities. One, two, it's really showing yourself what viewpoint and what energy you have towards success. To deny someone else's success is to deny your own. To be jealous of someone else is a denial of self. Hello, divine souls, and welcome to Mystic Temple Spirituality for a New Age. I'm Monica Bay, also known as the Divine Mother, and I am here to bring you truth. All right, so today, in today's divinity session, we are going deep and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into your own divinity, into your own power, and with some great tidbits, some great gems we're going to drop today, okay? So, really quick, I just want to announce that I literally just received the complete system I've been telling you guys about that the Cosmic Collective Consciousness has been downloading to me. I have now received the complete system. I had to go into a day of silence in order to get it. I always tell you guys how silence is so important. So I had to do a day of silence, and that is where I am in a room by myself. There is no energetic noise, there is no auditory noise, no phones on, nothing. And it's just me in a room, and I'm able to just connect and receive with no distractions. And so I was called to do that. So I did that for about 12 hours or so, or maybe a little more, and came out with this complete program that you guys are going to absolutely love. It's really going to take you from A to Z in terms of your spiritual growth, in terms of uh, your practical enjoyment and fulfillment of life. So I will be circling back to that. It'll probably be ready to be rolled out in about 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be super, super exciting and something that you've never seen before. What they've given me is the key to everything. So we'll be unveiling that in a couple of weeks. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the passage today from the book of Rashida, and we're going to jump right in, and it is as follows. When I come to you, I come through your light, as it is the same as mine. We are all one. What is of me is of you, and thus all the more holy is our connection to one another. We see through the same lens when we see clearly to the truth, because there is but only one truth. Through time and through space, one truth, one energy, one soul. Together, we can move mountains or move none at all. It is up to us collectively how this world will proceed. Okay, so they are dropping some serious gems today. Some serious philosophical knowledge and wisdom here about who they are and who we are. And we've talked many times about how we are the light, we are divine within ourselves. So, one thing that is very clear here that they're referring to is the oneness of that light. And they said, I come to you through your light because it is the same as mine. Think about that. This is the cosmic collective consciousness speaking, saying this. And what is a cosmic collective consciousness? It is all that is, it is everything. So, this cosmic collective consciousness has come through and is saying this to you, that I come to you through your light, because it is the same as mine. Again, mirroring the divinity that is within us, the divinity and the light that flows through us from this universal cosmic collective energy source. And it says that our connection with the cosmic collective consciousness is holy, because what they're saying is that they're referring to this divine essence that is what's holy. Our connection to this cosmic collective consciousness is holy, because we are the cosmic collective consciousness. We are divine, and this divine energy flows through us. And then it says one truth, one energy, one soul. So I'm going to break this down, because just this part right here is riddled and just layered with a lot of different meanings. So I'm going to go to the word soul that they said here. A lot of times we think of our soul as separate when we say, okay, my soul wants to do this, my soul. And I often talk about your souls, right? Because our soul is that being of light that is us, that is inside of this avatar right now. That is our soul. And that soul comes from the grander scheme of the light, or the bigger body of energy that is the light, right? So when we say that we are all one soul, the reality is we are not individual souls. And this is a concept that is a little difficult for some people to understand because we have the illusion of separation in this world. And I've talked a little bit about the illusion of separation before. What the illusion of separation is that when we are fully in this life and we're walking through this world and living our lives, we see ourselves as individual beings. We see ourselves as me, I, right? The ego and all of that. That is our illusion of separation. But in reality, and when I say reality, I'm talking about the true world. A few passages ago, the book of Rashida talked about the true world versus the world that we are, our perceptual world, right? The true world is a world outside of this illusion with what's actually going on, with what's really happening. But when we see ourselves perceptually as only individual souls, we miss the point. We are individual souls in this physical realm, in this life that's acting out and living out this purpose. That is true. We are that. However, we are more than that. We are a part of that bigger, vast source of energy. And so our soul is just a drop of water in the ocean, right? When you put the drop of water back in the ocean, does it become one with the ocean again, or are you able to still isolate that one drop of water that you put back? No. And that is analogous to what our soul is to this vast body of energy. Our soul is just a drop of water from the ocean. In here, it is individual, right? But in actuality, when we break through that illusion, this is when we recognize and feel and see, because the connection and the feeling of the energy has to come after our recognition of that truth. So you have to understand who you are in order to really start to feel and connect with that vaster ocean of energy that you are a part of, that you came from. So that's the first thing I want you guys to really understand about your soul, is that your soul is, all of our souls are one. So everyone here, everyone on this planet, in addition to, it's not just human beings, by the way, it's also plants, it's also animals, everything that life force energy flows through, which is everything. We are all one with that. And that's what this passage is really drilling home, is that we are one. We are not separate, we are one. And that oneness includes the cosmic collective consciousness. That oneness includes divinity. That oneness includes whatever you may think of in terms of God. That energy includes all of that. And that is who we are. That is who we are. And let's talk about the concept of truth for a moment, because this passage clearly states that there is but one truth. It says only one truth. But you may say, but isn't truth perceptual? Isn't truth in the eye of the beholder in some ways? Only in this illusion. And that's their point. The illusion that we live in, the illusion that we work in, the illusion that we move through is perceptual. It is all based on our perception. We react to certain external stimuli, and this creates our perception of what we're seeing, what the world is. So it's our perception. But in reality, outside, breaking through the veil, that veil of illusion, outside of our perceptual truth, what we believe to be true, we can believe whatever we want. Doesn't make it true. Am I correct? Doesn't make it true. So there is only one truth, only one truth. And this truth is the light. This truth is the cosmic collective consciousness. This truth is the energy and the message that is coming out through the book of Rashida. This is truth, the one truth. Okay? Through time and space, one truth, one soul, one energy. We are all one. So, understanding that it's not a sense of perception, it's not based on real truth in the true world, as the book of Rashida stated in a previous passage. In the true world, the one truth remains, and this is why whoever, and there's another passage later in the book of Rashida that really drills home, whoever channels the truth channels the truth. Why? Because the truth is the truth. And this is why what the book of Rashida is bringing forth today has been brought forth before, But the problem is we don't have access to that truth right now because human beings have twisted it and defiled it and tainted that truth. So it needs to come back for hopefully for the last time. And this is what's happening right now through me, through the book of Rashida, through Mystic Temple. One truth. So remember that it's not about perception. It's not about our human perception of what the truth is. There is one truth. That truth begins to be seen once we are able to break through those veils. Once we are able to break through our own ego, once we're able to break through our different levels of consciousness, once we are able to actually see and connect to this truth. And remember, it's important to first acknowledge. You have to first acknowledge that something exists before you can connect to it. All right? Because or else, especially when it is outside this illusion, or else you will not connect if you don't believe it exists. If you don't acknowledge its existence, if you don't acknowledge your own power, the existence within you, then how can you ever be your most powerful self, your greatest version of yourself, your best self? How can you ever be your most enlightened self if you do not recognize these truths within you? And when it comes to being all one, the notion of all of us being one, remember, as beings, what does that mean for us in our lives, our practical lives as we're moving through this world? We are all one. We are all the same. So when you are interacting with someone else, you are really interacting with another manifestation of yourself. Understand that. Rewind that, play it again. Say it again for the people in the back. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. Jealousy. This is something that almost every single person, well, no, I would say I can't imagine anyone not ever having experienced this in some mild shape or extreme shapes, forms in their life already. Jealousy is something that everyone experiences at some point in time. Some experience it a lot more than others because they get stuck in that lower vibration. But when we're talking about jealousy, when this is something I see all the time, and people don't even realize it. I'm going to break it down for you guys, and you'll realize sometimes when you've done this yourself. And hopefully, many of you have not done this because this isn't good. But many times I see this all the time. Someone announces something that they just did. This is wonderful. Some like high level of success someone reached, or maybe they're telling someone about it at an event of some sort. And so the other person, I'll just say you will look at that person and say, oh, they think they're all that, or oh, if someone is singing their own praises, oh, they think they're all that, or they just achieved that, and we have a visceral negative reaction to that. What's happening there is it's highlighting your own securities. One, two, it's really showing yourself what viewpoint and what energy you have towards success. To deny someone else's success is to deny your own. To be jealous of someone else is a denial of self. Understand that because we are all one. And I'm going to break this down not only in the grander scheme of things. When you are jealous towards someone, first of all, that's a lot of the way I just described it. That's more envy. Okay, when you have envy is a very negative energy. That's actually the evil eye. So you are sending people negative energy when you are feeling these emotions inside of yourself. And even if it's visceral, even if you didn't plan it, it's not something that you thought of and that you meant to do, right? But you're still doing it. And so you're in this negative, very low vibration, right? And that's your reaction to someone else's success. If your reaction to someone else's success, on the grander scheme, you are denying your own success because that is you. And they're of the same energy. So you are denying that success. You are then reciprocating and denying yours. But I'm going to break that down into a more practical sense that you can really understand when it comes to energy. So if I am jealous towards someone else that they have achieved something because deep down there's a whole lot of reasons why, right? It's psychological. Deep down I may feel like I'm not good enough, or why didn't I achieve those things I wish I did, so now I get jealous because they did. And it's a reflection of what I feel my own inadequacies are. That's really what's going on when we're doing that. But if I am feeling negative towards their success and I'm like, no, they can't have it because I don't have it, right? What's happening is I'm sending out negative energy to say, no, in relationship to this type of success, it is an absolute no. We don't like that. We don't want it. And this is all happening subconsciously and energetically. You don't have to really be thinking these thoughts for this to be happening. And this is why I want to explain it this way. So I'm thinking that, right? It's like, no, 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 this is a bad thing, energetically and subconsciously. And so now what I'm doing is taking that vibration of success, of that person's success, and I am programming it in my own energy system and saying no. So what am I doing? I'm blocking my blessings. And that is what you are doing when you are being jealous of someone else, when you are not celebrating someone else's wins. You should always celebrate someone else's wins, because when they win, you win on a grander scheme scale, on an energetic scale, and even on an illusionary individual scale. Okay? So understand that the act of envy or jealousy is, in fact, a denial of self, a denial of your own success, a denial and rejection of your own prosperity. Now, we've all heard of the law of attraction. We attract the things that we claim and command. We attract the things that we allow. We attract the things that we desire, right? Because those energy vibrations go out there in our aura. They start to then attract those things to us. But there's also what I call the law of repulsion. A lot of people don't realize that you can, not only can you attract things, you can also repel things. And a lot of that repulsion is subconscious. A lot of that repulsion is unintentional. But when you have things going on inside of you, and this is also why we did the inner truth and shattering the illusions last week. When you have things going inside of you that you're unaware of, you can easily be rejecting your own prosperity, be rejecting your own positivity in your life. When you send out positive energy comes back. Okay? When you send out negative energy, sometimes it's sent out, sometimes it stays within you, and if that stays around you, it will begin attracting negative energy to you. And this is just how it works. So understanding, bringing it back home to this passage, understanding that this oneness should be a clue as to how you should be living your life, how you should be moving forward, how you should be wielding your power as the collective in order to reap the benefits of the world that you want to bring into existence. What are we manifesting? I always ask you guys that. What are you manifesting? Because we're always in the act of creation. We are always creating something. So, what are we creating right now? And this passage at the end says we could either move mountains or we can move none. Why is it saying that? Because that's the truth. The reality is, collectively, all of us are one. We have the ability to move mountains, or we could move none. How do we move no mountains? By staying individual, by staying in this illusion, by not transcending. How do we stay complacent? That's moving no mountains. How do we stay complacent? Staying rooted in this physical plane, not recognizing our divinity, not recognizing that we are all one, and not using that knowledge to then move more powerfully in this world. That is not moving mountains. How do we move mountains? We work collectively, we work together. We make sure that we understand that everything that we do adds to the collective. Everything that you do is not just about you. That's a form of spiritual narcissism. When we think everything revolves around us, when we think everything I do, I'm autonomous, I'm an autonomous being, and no matter what, I am just here and I'm solitary and everything I do only affects me. No, it affects the collective and the collective's force moving forward to create this new world. And at the end of this passage, it talks about the world that we want to create. So if we are not creating something together, but we are acting as individuals, we are really not creating the type of world that we want to be in. If we work collectively, and that's what this Global Awakening Initiative is about, that for Mystic Temple, if we work collectively and push forward collectively in a positive direction, the world that we will be experiencing in the future will be a reflection of those collective actions. So here's something I want you to ask yourself. In everything that you do, as you are doing it, I want you going forward to start asking yourself this question. Are my actions in alignment with the world that I want to create? Not just your world, but the overall world. It's understanding that you are a spoke in a grander wheel. You are one spoke, but it takes all of these spokes to create that wheel in order to move forward in the direction that we want to move in. So what are you creating? How are you contributing to this collective movement? How are you contributing? And you should be contributing. You should be contributing because at the end of the day, you are contributing. It depends on whether you're contributing in a positive way, in a neutral way, or in a negative way. Usually it's either positive or negative. Very few actions create a neutral effect. So, in terms of where we're moving, so ask yourself those questions. When you are moving through life, making sure that you are actually taking the right actions, that your actions are in alignment with the world you want to live in. Do you want to live in a world where everyone's nasty to each other? Then stop being nasty to people. Do you want to live in a world where people don't celebrate each other's wins? Then start celebrating each other's wins. Start celebrating other people's wins. Because, first of all, when someone else succeeds, that should show you proof that you can succeed. Why? Because we are all one, we are all equal. There is no one here that is better than anyone else. There may be people that have different gifts, there may be people that have different talents and skills, but no one is better, inherently better than anyone else on this planet. Okay? All beings, and on other planets, all beings are one. So that also contributes to our equality. So if someone else can achieve something, that means you can too. And if you're not, that means you or something else is blocking you. It's usually you. So if you find yourself jealous of someone, you find yourself envious of someone else's success, look, turn the mirror on yourself. Look at yourself and say, why do I believe I can't do this? Why do I believe I can't do this? Why do I believe I can't reach something similar or whatever levels? Because that's the reality is you feel that way because you believe you can't. You feel that way because you're frustrated because you haven't. Okay? And that's inner work that needs to be done. So, do we want to live in a world where people are wonderfully nice to each other, where we have unity, we don't have all this stupid separation that the media and that our society and our governments try to infuse within us? Do we really want to live in that world? If we do, and we should, we need to change our actions. We need to start acting and moving as one instead of as separate individual illusionary beings. Understand that this world that we are building, this new world, it creates and it requires collective effort. It requires collective effort. And I've told you guys before, for the Global Awakening Initiative that we're doing here at Mystic Temple with the Book of Rashida, spreading this message, all of that, I need all of your help. We need help because there is no revolution that is done with one person. It is because it is a collective effort because we are not here by ourselves. If we were meant to do things by ourselves, we would be on this planet by ourselves. Why are other people here? We were put into this game, okay, for a reason, with other players for a reason. Are we going to approach the world with teamwork, or are we going to approach the world with illusion and individuality? We want to be individual beings. So when I say that, I want to be clear that I'm talking about, when I say individuality, I'm talking about the notion that we are only one being without the connection and without the oneness of everything else. We are individuals in this physical plane, in this illusionary existence. But transcending that is what's important. Transcending the notion of that so that we can really understand our oneness and what that means to our life and what that means to the world that we live in. So I'm looking at you when I say do your part. Do your part because together we can move mountains or we can move none. And I want to move mountains. I'm here to move mountains. I'm here to move the earth. I'm here to move more than mountains, okay? This is what we're going to do together at Mystic Temple. Okay, and with that, I am now going to speak love, light, and power into all of you at home using the divine language. Okay. Lehate ho waze, lehate ho waze, lehate ho waze, uvio shao shati, uvio shao shati, uvio shao shati, lehate waze, lehate waze, lehate waze, uvio shao shati, oshati, 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 uve, oshati, lehate waze, lehate waze, lehate waze, lehate waze, lehate waze, lehate waze. Osha, 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 Osha Olo, Osha Olo. Eshna po poeshna sha. Eshna po poeshna sha shishen. Eshna po poeshna sha. And now for the closing prayer in the divine language, which essentially means peace be unto you. Zor Kumti. And I'll see you next time. Also, if you would like to learn more about Mystic Temple, what we're all about, what we're teaching, and you also want to see a copy of the Book of Rashida, you can find that at mystictemple.org.
This is a call into the world that's gone cold. When you're feeling lost and all alone, hold on tight, let go of your demons. There's a light inside that's waiting to be seen. To the broken-hearted, to the ones who've been betrayed, to the ones who've been silenced, to the ones who've been afraid. You're not alone, we're in this fight together. We'll lift each other up and rise above the weather. There's hope, don't be afraid to make a stand. Rise up, it's time to heal across the land. United we'll be stronger, let the book of Rashida lead the way. So rise up, let the light guide us today. To the broken-hearted, to the ones who've been betrayed, to the ones who've been silenced, to the ones who've been afraid. You're not alone, we're in this fight together. We'll lift each other up and rise above the weather. To the dreamers and believers, don't give up the fight. Release it all, shine your light so bright. In the face of darkness, we know our way. With hope in our hearts, we'll make a brighter day. There's hope, don't be afraid to make a stand. Rise up, it's time to heal across the land. United we'll be stronger, let the book of Rashida lead the way. So rise up, let the light guide